Everybody, Gear Choppers here. Just going to do a quick road trip video here with my Z3, 1996, 180 something thousand miles. Taking it to work. I go work in the oil field in West Texas. I live north of Dallas and do this every 2 weeks, usually. Sometimes I go other places, but anyway. So first things first, a little trunk. This is all the stuff I got to fit in there. If you don't think you can take these on a weekend road trip, you dang sure can, because I take this thing, I'm gone for 2 weeks at a time. So we'll get all this stuff put in here and I'll show you how all that works. First thing I do, I don't normally carry one of those with me all the time. I've got that stuff at the shop, hard hat, boots, all that. But here lately, they've been sending me out just straight from my house. So I like to keep a pair of boots and a hard hat, because if I fly directly out of Dallas to Alaska, Pennsylvania, somewhere like that, and I don't get to go to the shop out in West Texas first, I don't have all my personal protective equipment. So anyway, that's what that's all about. A couple things here. Always keep a couple quarts of oil in here. These are, I changed the belts before they went out, so I just kept the old belts just in case you're going down the road and you need belts. Bam, I got the old ones that I could use temporarily. So this big duffel bag, this typically lasts me a couple of weeks. I do have to do laundry in between, but as you can see, fits in there. It's all right. It's kind of tight. You got to kind of cram it in here, but it does work. So if you've got one of these and your wife or girlfriend doesn't think you can take it on a trip, she's wrong, because I do it all the time. Let's get that oil out of the way. So here's my backpack. Cram that down in there. There we go. And can't forget my umbrella, my Texas umbrella. Anyway, just basically use that as a hood prop. My gas struts on the hood are going out, so that's what I got. That's handy, so that's what I've been using until I can get some gas struts for the hood. So there it is. Whoop, terrible. There she is, packed up, ready to go. Let me show you the what's going on in here. So backpack with my computer. If you've got to take any more than what I've got in the trunk, yeah, probably not a great car for that, but it can be done. A lot of this crap that's on the floor in here, there's a big offshore duffel bag in there that needs to go back to my place in West Texas. Normally I wouldn't be carrying that with me, but I am this time. So that's taking up a lot of room there on the floor. Got a couple sweatshirts, a couple of bottles of Ozarka for the road trip if you're from Texas. If you are from Texas, you know what's up with Ozarka. So anyway, that's Alpine. That's the camp I was just at out in Alaska. So driver's side's ready to go, and we'll get this baby backed out and get on down the road. All right, something I forgot. I wanted to go over the miles. 184,654 miles on this car. So 184,654. I pulled over here at the bank, not even a half mile from my house. I wanted to do this before I pulled it out of the garage, and I totally forgot about it. So anyway, that's our starting mileage, 184,654. Just like all good old BMWs, the ABS light is on, comes on and off intermittently. The airbag light stays on all the time. Have no idea what's going on with that, but she's still fun to drive, so headed out to that highway road. construction on the road next to this gas station, so I'm gonna have to fight to get out of here. I wish I would have thought about that or realized that before I started doing this. One more thing, I am under the weather. I feel like crap. Been sick. My last stint or hitch of work, as we say in the oil field, I had to go to Alaska. So I went from West Texas, which was 65 degrees the day I went to the airport, and wind chill in Alaska was in the negatives, anywhere from -2 to -25-ish, and then came back to Texas, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I feel like crap, and I've been sick. So anyway, I'm going to fight this traffic to try and get out of here. So I'll see y'all down the road. Bye.
If you got a foundation problem with your home, you've got a big problem. You've got one that you can't fix. When you see it,
Well, I'm getting off in Abilene. This is kind of the halfway point. I usually go to the same gas station every time on this trip and check the oil, top it off with gas. I could make it on one tank, but it'd be really close, and then I'd have to fill up in the morning before I go to the office. So just kind of a tradition here on this. I've been doing this trip for about 2 years, a little over 2 years in this car, and she's old and uses a little bit of oil, and so I just stop here every time, and main thing is check the oil and make sure everything's going good, and grab a bite to eat. I'll probably go to Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers or Chick-fil-A. Kind of in the mood for some Raising Cane's tonight, but so we'll pull on into this gas station and I'll check the oil and show you what that's all about. So this is Texas 351 is the highway here, off of I-20, Interstate 20 here in Abilene. So this is the Valero here that I always stop at. So there's a truck coming the other way. There we go. We'll wait for him. So, just something interesting here. Whenever I fill this car up with gas, this has been doing this for about the last 6 months. Fill it up with gas, and the gas gauge shows empty. So, let me turn the lights back on. All right, so I think there's a sensor. There's 2 sensors in this tank, and so the top one I think is messed up. But anyway, when I shut it off, it kind of that's the goofy headlight buzzer. So let me turn this light on, see if that helps. No, not really. So then now, when I go to restart it, it'll actually show how much gas is in the tank. So I think once the gas level gets below that sensor and you restart the car and reset it, it actually shows how much gas is actually in the tank. But anyway, just kind of she's got 185,000 miles on her almost. So just one of those things you deal with an old car. But I drive it all the time. I make this trip all the time, so I know what's going on. So I'm going to get some gas, and then we'll check the oil. Yeah, so here we are. Just filled it up, and see the gas gauge is back down to empty. So like I said, it's just that sensor, I'm sure. Anyway, got the oil checked. Looked about the same as it did before I left. So everything's looking good there. I'm gonna zip over to Raising Cane's and get some chicken fingers. Well, I made it all the way to Midland, so ending mileage was 185,008, which comes out to 354 miles. So as you saw earlier, just watched the car turn 185,000 miles. No problems as usual. Everything went smooth. So this has been an amazing little car. When I first got it, it had 158,000 miles on it, and like I said, I've been for over 2 years now driving this thing back and forth to Midland. Just changed the oil, no basic maintenance on it, and she's running great. So good trip, and it's 11 o'clock at night, so I got to get up in the morning and go to work. But anyway, if you like the video, please subscribe. I hope it was somewhat interesting. Yeah, so anyway, more videos to come. Please subscribe and do the notifications. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Thanks.